In the heart of the vast Pacific Ocean, over 2,000 miles from the nearest landmass, lies one of the most mysterious and isolated places on Earth, Easter Island. A land shrouded in legend where nearly 1,000 colossal stone figures, the Moai, stand frozen in time, their unblinking gazes locked onto the horizon. Who built them? How did an ancient civilization, with no modern technology, move these massive statues, some weighing over 80 tons, across rugged volcanic terrain? And perhaps the most unsettling question of all, why do some face inland, as if watching over the island, while others look outward toward the endless ocean? Some believe the answer lies in the rich oral traditions of the Rapa Nui people. Others suggest these monoliths hold secrets that challenge everything we think we know about human history, connections to lost civilizations, celestial alignments, and even unexplained forces beyond our comprehension. Could Easter Island be part of a global pattern, linked to other ancient wonders like the Great Pyramids, Machu Picchu, or Stonehenge? Or does its mystery point to something even greater, something lost to time? Before we dive into this mind-blowing mystery, take a second to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future deep dives into the secrets of our past. And if you're ready to unlock the enigma of Easter Island, drop a 7 in the comments below. We want to hear from those who seek the truth. Now let's begin. Some researchers propose that Easter Island was once part of a vast, interconnected network of ancient civilizations. Its placement along global ley lines suggesting a deeper, almost celestial significance. Others go further, drawing eerie comparisons between the Moai and figures found in ancient Mesopotamian, Egyptian, and Mesoamerican cultures, raising the tantalizing question of whether these isolated people were visited, or even guided, by an external force, one not of this earth. The Rapa Nui themselves spoke of a time when powerful beings walked among them, beings who imparted knowledge and mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind only their stone visages as a haunting reminder of something far greater than we understand. Could these stories hold a kernel of truth? Could the Moai be markers of a lost knowledge, an intelligence erased from history, one that once shaped civilizations before being consumed by time? Or do they serve as an ancient warning, a message meant for those who came after, a relic of a forgotten era that we have yet to fully decode? As the winds howl through these desolate plains and the relentless waves crash against the island's rocky shores, the Moai stand motionless, their carved faces forever locked in an eternal vigil, watching, waiting, guarding a secret that has yet to be unveiled. Carved from volcanic rock and standing as silent sentinels over the desolate landscape of Easter Island, the Moai are far more than mere statues. They are relics of a forgotten past, guardians of an enigmatic legacy that transcends time. To the Rapa Nui people, these monolithic figures were more than stone representations of their ancestors. They were embodiments of mana, a sacred spiritual force believed to protect and empower the island's inhabitants. Yet as we peer beyond the surface of accepted history, we find unsettling clues suggesting that these figures may hold a far more profound significance. Oral traditions whisper of a time long before the arrival of the Polynesians, a time when beings of extraordinary knowledge and power ruled the land. Who were these beings? Were they deified ancestors, powerful rulers, or something else entirely? An advanced civilization whose existence has been lost to time? The Moai possess strikingly unique features that set them apart from other Polynesian sculptures, with elongated heads, prominent noses, and deep-set eyes that seem to gaze with an eternal knowing. These features bear uncanny similarities to the depictions of gods and rulers found in ancient Mesopotamian, Egyptian, and Olmec cultures, civilizations separated by vast oceans and thousands of miles, yet inexplicably linked by iconography and legend. Could the Moai be more than just Polynesian in origin? Could they represent something universal, something that hints at a forgotten connection between distant civilizations? Even more perplexing is the orientation of these statues. The majority stand facing inland, as if watching over the land and its people. But a select few are different, positioned with their backs to the island, gazing instead toward the endless expanse of the ocean. This defies the conventional belief that they were meant solely to guard the people. Could these outward-facing Moai have been intended for something else? Were they awaiting the return of those who came before, beings of immense knowledge who once walked among the islanders? Or were they sending a message, a silent plea cast into the unknown, reaching towards something beyond our understanding? The notion of ancient civilizations leaving behind cryptic messages through colossal stone structures is not new. Around the world, we see towering megaliths, pyramids, and monuments whose true purposes have long been debated, each raising questions about the knowledge, technology, and motivations of their creators. If the Moai are part of this global pattern, what does it mean? Could Easter Island have once been part of a greater network, one that spanned continents and shared a unified understanding of the cosmos, energy, and the divine? And if so, what happened to this knowledge? Was it lost in time, buried beneath the weight of history, or deliberately erased from the collective memory of humanity? The Rapa Nui legends speak of an ancient war, a battle that led to the fall of the old order and the destruction of much of what once was. Some Moai were toppled, their faces buried in the earth as if silencing their watchful gaze. Were these acts of human rebellion against once revered figures, or were they something more, an attempt to erase the past, to sever the link to an age of forgotten gods? As we stand in the shadow of these immense figures today, we must ask, are we looking at remnants of a culture that venerated its ancestors, or are we staring into the faces of something far older, far greater, and far more mysterious than we have ever dared to imagine? The Moai remain unmoved by the questions we ask, their silent forms holding secrets that may never be spoken. The question of how the Moai were moved across Easter Island remains one of the greatest engineering puzzles of the ancient world, defying conventional explanations and raising profound questions about the capabilities of lost civilizations. The prevailing theory, endorsed by mainstream archaeologists, suggests that the Rapa Nui people walked these towering monoliths into place using ropes and the coordinated effort of dozens, perhaps hundreds of workers. Yet when scrutinized, this explanation presents more questions than answers. How could a civilization with no wheels, no draft animals, and an extremely limited supply of wood transport and erect statues weighing up to 80 tons across rugged volcanic terrain? The island's landscape is uneven, littered with rocky slopes, making traditional hauling methods nearly impossible. Moreover, Easter Island was already suffering from severe deforestation by the time these Moai were allegedly transported, meaning there were few, if any, large trees to create rolling logs or wooden sleds. Even if such resources had been available, the sheer scale of the operation, hundreds of statues, some moved miles from their quarry, suggests a level of coordination and technological understanding far beyond what is typically attributed to the Rapa Nui. Could it be that our ancestors developed ingenious techniques that modern researchers have yet to fully understand? Some theories suggest they may have possessed lost engineering methods that allowed them to manipulate massive stone structures with greater ease than previously thought. Around the world, we find similarly impossible feats of construction, megalithic structures that challenge our understanding of ancient technology. In Egypt, the Great Pyramid's limestone blocks, some weighing over 70 tons, were lifted to extraordinary heights with an unknown precision. In Peru, the walls of Sacsayhuaman are composed of enormous stones that fit together so seamlessly that not even a razor blade can slide between them. And in Lebanon, the megaliths of Baalbek include stones weighing over 1,000 tons, moved and positioned with a precision that modern cranes would struggle to achieve. These sites, along with Easter Island, seem to be connected by a recurring question. Did the ancients possess an understanding of physics and construction that has since been lost to time? Some researchers believe the answer lies not in brute force, but in the manipulation of natural forces, sound, resonance, and vibration. Ancient legends from Tibet tell of monks lifting massive stones into the air, using the power of sound, with chants and musical instruments setting up vibrational frequencies capable of defying gravity. Egyptian inscriptions also speak of priests using harmonics to move heavy objects, hinting at a lost science of acoustic levitation. Could the Rapa Nui have inherited a similar technique, one that allowed them to walk the Moai in ways beyond our comprehension? Or was this knowledge given to them, bestowed upon them by an external force, a guiding hand that helped shape their civilization? Some researchers speculate that the Moai, with their elongated heads and mysterious gazes, bear a resemblance to depictions of ancient gods or even otherworldly visitors. The legends of the Rapa Nui speak of powerful beings who once ruled the island only to vanish, leaving behind their stone likenesses as a reminder of their existence. Were the Moai simply tributes to revered ancestors, or were they meant to serve a higher purpose, perhaps a form of communication, a beacon calling out to those who had once walked among them? If so, were these statues positioned with a deeper understanding of energy, magnetism, or geospatial alignment, similar to the unexplained energy fields detected around other ancient megalithic sites? As we attempt to unravel the mystery of their movement, we are left with the unsettling realization that history, as we have been taught, may not be as complete as we once believed. Perhaps the Moai stand not just as relics of a lost culture, but as reminders that there is still much we do not understand about our past, knowledge that was either forgotten, suppressed, or erased from the pages of time. And if that knowledge existed once, could it still exist somewhere waiting to be rediscovered? The Moai remain silent, their expressionless faces offering no answers, only an unyielding presence that continues to defy logic and challenge everything we think we know about human history. Easter Island, often regarded as an isolated enigma, may in fact be a critical piece of a much larger and far more profound mystery, one that spans the globe and defies conventional historical narratives. Across the ancient world, we find megalithic structures of staggering complexity, each seemingly disconnected, yet sharing striking similarities in design, orientation, and purpose. Some researchers propose that Easter Island is part of a larger pattern of ancient sites that appear to align with key celestial and geographical coordinates. While mainstream historians remain skeptical of such connections, the alignments raise intriguing questions about the knowledge possessed by ancient civilizations. The Moai, towering figures of unknown purpose, bear an eerie resemblance to other monolithic structures found thousands of miles away. The Great Pyramids of Egypt, the enigmatic ruins of Machu Picchu in Peru, the colossal megaliths of Baalbek in Lebanon, and the timeless stones of Stonehenge in England. When these sites are plotted on a map, their placement is not random. They form precise geometric patterns along Earth's energy grids, as if ancient civilizations possessed an advanced understanding of the planet's electromagnetic fields and deliberately built these structures along key nodal points of power. What knowledge did they possess that we have since lost? And how did civilizations separated by oceans and millennia come to the same understanding of cosmic alignment? The mystery deepens when we consider that the Moai themselves appear to have been positioned with an awareness of celestial phenomena. Some researchers suggest that their placement corresponds to significant astronomical events, with certain statues aligned to mark solstices, equinoxes, and the rising and setting of specific stars. The Polynesians were master navigators, capable of crossing vast distances by reading the stars, the ocean currents, and the wind. But could their remarkable seafaring knowledge have been inherited from an even older, more advanced civilization? One that understood not only the movements of the heavens, but their direct influence on the Earth? The presence of petroglyphs on Easter Island adds another layer to this mystery, depicting beings with elongated heads, large unblinking eyes, and strange, almost otherworldly features. These figures bear a striking resemblance to carvings and artwork found in other ancient cultures, particularly the Anunnaki of Mesopotamian legend, the gods said to have descended from the heavens to shape early human civilizations. Could these petroglyphs be more than just stylized depictions of ancestral spirits? Could they in fact be records, memories etched in stone, of beings who once walked among the Rapa Nui people? The notion that Easter Island was once visited or even influenced by an advanced external force is not as far-fetched as it may seem. The Moai themselves, with their massive heads and disproportionately small bodies, share uncanny similarities with the descriptions of divine or celestial beings in numerous ancient texts. Legends from around the world tell of gods, sky visitors, and advanced beings who arrived to guide early civilizations, only to mysteriously disappear, leaving behind only cryptic monuments as evidence of their presence. Were the Moai built to honor these beings, or were they meant to serve as a signal, a marker for their return? If this is the case, then the question is no longer simply how the Moai were moved or why they were built, but what they truly represent and what knowledge may still be hidden beneath the island's windswept surface. As we continue to uncover the vast network of ancient sites aligned across the planet, the possibility emerges that Easter Island was not an isolated outpost, but a key location in a forgotten civilization's understanding of the cosmos. Did the builders of these great monuments, whether human, divine, or something else entirely, possess a knowledge so powerful that it was systematically erased, lost to the sands of time? And if so, what were they trying to tell us? The Moai stand in silent defiance, challenging our assumptions, urging us to look beyond accepted history, and forcing us to confront the possibility that the truth about our past may be far stranger and far more profound than we have ever imagined. The decline of the Rapa Nui civilization is one of history's most haunting enigmas, a cautionary tale that echoes through the ruins of countless lost societies. Mainstream scholars argue that the island's downfall was the result of self-inflicted environmental collapse, claiming that deforestation, overpopulation, and resource depletion led to famine, warfare, and ultimately the near extinction of its people. They paint a picture of a civilization that expanded too rapidly, exhausting its own means of survival in a tragic example of ecological suicide. But what if this is only part of the story? What if something far more profound, something lost to time, was the true cause of Easter Island's fall? Some alternative theories speculate that the Rapa Nui may have inherited lost knowledge from an earlier culture, though mainstream archaeology attributes the Moai solely to their ingenuity. If a pre-existing civilization once inhabited the island, its presence has yet to be confirmed through concrete evidence. Could the island have once been a center of knowledge, an outpost of an ancient world-spanning culture whose secrets have been deliberately erased? The Moai themselves stand as solemn witnesses to this lost age, their watchful eyes staring into eternity, guarding secrets that modern historians have yet to decipher. Many of these statues were deliberately toppled, their stone faces buried in the earth, as if their destruction was an attempt to sever a connection to a deeper truth. Did the later inhabitants of Easter Island fear what the Moai represented? Were they symbols of an age of enlightenment, or were they warnings, silent remnants of a past catastrophe too great to be remembered? Across the ancient world, we find civilizations that rose to extraordinary heights before vanishing, seemingly overnight, leaving behind only the broken ruins of their once great societies. From the lost cities of the Maya to the enigmatic ruins of Göbekli Tepe, from the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization to the sudden abandonment of the ancestral Puebloan cliff dwellings in North America, history is riddled with cases of advanced cultures that disappeared without a trace. What force, what cataclysm caused these civilizations to crumble? And more importantly, did the people of Easter Island suffer the same fate? Some legends suggest that the gods themselves once walked among the Rapa Nui, guiding their ancestors, sharing their wisdom, and shaping their world before vanishing without explanation. In many ancient cultures, similar stories persist. Tales of deities, celestial visitors, or advanced beings who arrived, imparted great knowledge, and then left, leaving behind only towering monuments as evidence of their existence. Could Easter Island be yet another example of this recurring pattern, a place where powerful knowledge was once held, but later lost? And if so, was that knowledge taken from them, hidden, or even destroyed? There is an unsettling possibility that Easter Island serves as a warning, a message from the past, left behind not only for the people of Rapa Nui, but for all of humanity. Could it be that civilizations collapse not only due to war, famine, and environmental disaster, but also when they lose their connection to their origins, their purpose, and their true history? Did the people of Easter Island forget the meaning of the Moai, losing the wisdom of those who came before? And if so, is history doomed to repeat itself? Today we stand at a crossroads, much like those who once gazed upon the Moai in ages past. The silent statues endure, their presence an eternal reminder that the answers we seek may not lie in the distant future, but in the forgotten past. If Easter Island is a warning, then what is it trying to tell us? Are we listening? Or like so many before us, are we destined to ignore the signs until it is too late? The Moai remain unmoved, their hollow eyes fixed upon the horizon, as if waiting, watching, knowing that history, if forgotten, has a way of repeating itself. The Moai remain one of history's most enigmatic and enduring mysteries, standing as silent sentinels on a remote island that defies conventional understanding. Were they merely the product of an isolated Polynesian culture, painstakingly carved to honor their ancestors? Or do they serve as something far more profound, evidence of a lost civilization, a forgotten epoch of human history, or even a connection to forces beyond our comprehension? Every aspect of Easter Island challenges the accepted narrative of human progress. How did a seemingly primitive society move statues weighing up to 80 tons without modern tools or large animals? Why do certain Moai face inward while others gaze eternally toward the ocean, as if waiting for something or someone? Could they be remnants of a civilization that once spanned the earth, an outpost of an ancient world order that understood celestial alignments, energy grids, and the deeper secrets of the cosmos? The patterns of global megalithic construction suggest that Easter Island may not be an anomaly, but a crucial piece in a much larger puzzle. Its strategic location, aligning with other sacred sites such as the Great Pyramids of Egypt, Machu Picchu, and Stonehenge, hints at knowledge that surpasses the capabilities of the society credited with its construction. Were the Moai meant to communicate something across vast distances, a form of lost technology encoded in stone? And if so, to whom was the message directed? Legends from the island speak of powerful beings who once ruled, whose presence shaped the destiny of the Rapa Nui before vanishing into the unknown. Could these beings have been the inspiration for the Moai, or were the statues crafted in anticipation of their return? Many ancient cultures around the world share eerily similar myths, stories of gods descending from the sky, bestowing wisdom upon humanity, only to depart, leaving behind cryptic monuments as their legacy. If these myths hold any truth, then perhaps Easter Island is not simply a cautionary tale of collapse, but a key to understanding our own origins. The mainstream explanations of Easter Island's history fail to account for the lingering questions, the inexplicable details, and the global patterns that suggest something greater at play. Was the knowledge of Easter Island's true significance lost due to environmental catastrophe, or was it deliberately erased, hidden from history, to prevent us from uncovering a truth too vast to comprehend? If the Moai serve as a message from the past, what are they trying to tell us? That civilizations rise and fall, that knowledge can be forgotten, that humanity is doomed to repeat its mistakes? Or is there something more, an invitation, a warning, or a reminder that the truth of our past is far more mysterious than we have ever dared to imagine? As we stand before these monolithic figures today, we must ask ourselves, are we simply looking at statues, or are we gazing into the eyes of history itself? The mystery of Easter Island is far from solved, but one thing is certain. It forces us to question everything we think we know about the past. Could the Moai hold a message meant to be understood, not just by their creators, but by future generations? If so, what knowledge were they trying to preserve, and what secrets of the past remain hidden within their silent forms? If so, then the final question remains. Who or what were they waiting for? The answer, perhaps, lies not in the distant past, but in the journey ahead, as we continue to unlock the secrets of the forgotten world. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.